Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode of Behind the Stack, where our Aurora Cloud Console Marketplace partners share their products and innovations. I'm Chris, Technical Program Manager at Aurora. Today we're joined by Owen from Proximity Labs, who's here to introduce Shade Agents and show how they can be used with Aurora Virtual Chains. Owen, great to have you here. Could you kick things off by telling us a bit about yourself and what Shade Agents are all about?
Hey, good to see you again, Chris. So I'm Owen from Proximity. I'm a DevRel there. Proximity is basically one of the core contributing entities to the near ecosystem on which Aurora is built upon. We've been building this technology called Shade Agents, which are essentially properly decentralized and verifiable agents that can act autonomously, and they really bring like the smart into smart contracts. So you can plug in AI, you can ping APIs, you can use data from off-chain, and you have like this verifiable off-chain environment like coupled with a smart contract, which is really cool. And they're fully multi-chain, so they can interact with any chain, including obviously Aurora and Aurora's virtual chains. So it's going to be really interesting to see people using Shade Agents with Aurora virtual chains, because then we'll see potentially like whole chains or large components of chains managed by these agents.
Yeah, definitely. Shade agents are very interesting. Can you show us the core product and the top two, maybe three features which can be beneficial for the builders? Maybe walk us through the common use cases of the workflow, or maybe show some examples of the projects that are already using the tool.
So maybe can I share my screen here?
Yes, you can.
So let me just share like the docs here. Right.
Yeah, sounds great.
Let me figure out how to do this. Screen share,
Okay.
Chrome tab. Here we go. So there we go. Here is our documentation over at docs.near.org, and it goes through what shade agents essentially are. So it has an explainer of like how they work and the like how you can actually go about building them. So then there's also this getting started guide where it'll walk you through how to deploy a simple agent, which is not that many steps. And then it will also walk you through the key components of that agent. So it'll show you the steps as we go along. So this example here is actually an example price oracle for Ethereum. So what this would allow you to do on like Aurora virtual chains is basically have a price oracle for any asset intertwined into your chain, and then you can have that flexible, being any custom data you want to get on chain, you can use a shade agent for it. So we can see here we like fetch the price of Ethereum for this inside the shade agent. Then we create a transaction to push it to the chain, could be a virtual chain, and we request a signature from this MPC service, which is basically a decentralized set of signers that come together and sign transactions for your agent. And then we broadcast that to the target network, and that can be to whichever network, like I said. We for key management we use the MPC service, multi-party computation, which works off threshold signing, and the benefit of that is really strong. So with a lot of agents previously, you would have they would either be centralized because they have the key embedded inside the agent and it's known by anyone, or they were sort of decentralized by using this TE system that we're using as well, trusted execution environment. But the key would be like randomly generated, and if that TE goes offline, then all the funds and everything associated with that agent's account would be lost forever. So using the decentralized key management is a really key part of Shade Agents. And to go into some of the features here, you can actually see this in our docs as well, within the what can you build section. So you can see that Shade Agents are AI powered, they can use LLMs, they're multi-chain. You can't, like, it's not just near, it's not just Aurora, it's not just virtual chains. You can interact with any chain you want. It's non-custodial, like I was talking about before, verifiable. It's optionally confidential. So by default, like everything in a TE is confidential, and you can optionally have the inputs of that be confidential as well. So you can build out some private systems, which is quite interesting. They're very flexible. So with blockchains, we know you can't run like very intensive compute because of like gas limits, or you can't interact with APIs. Well, in this environment with the similar like trust assumptions, you can do all of this that you could just do on a normal server. And some ideas of what you can build with these are these agentic protocols that we're seeing come to life. So, for example, a yield optimizer that is proactively trying to earn you and all your users the best yield on across a load of different protocols. So they're not just static, they're actively working. Private DAO on Ethereum mainnet or a private DAO on Aurora, you could have a virtual chain that is all about governance, and it's powered at the core by this DAO agent. Yeah, using LLMs sort of within smart contracts. And you can have interesting things like custom authentication. So you can have non-custodial systems authenticated through interfaces like Twitter or Telegram, which I've not really ever seen before. And as we talked about before, another really powerful use case is this flexible Oracle system where you can get any data off chain, on chain, and have a level of verifiability. And to talk a little bit about some of the products, one that has just launched using Shade Agents is Fraction AI, which is a prediction market for agents that are trading, which is really cool. You can check that out. It's live now. And then another one is the Mindshare agent, which you may have seen, which was an agent that looks at Kaito Mindshare data, chuck that data into an LLM, and the agent would tell it where, like what tokens it should be buying. And this was coupled with near intent, so it could swap across different chains, which was really cool. And a lot of products, yeah, starting to build. So we'll see some interesting things come out soon, and hopefully a lot of things building on virtual chains.
Very good stuff. I love Shade Agents personally. So in terms of like maybe offering to the virtual chains, are there any like maybe good starting points in case someone wants to just create a virtual chain, and then there's like some bootstrap or maybe like a starting point how to work with the Shade Agents?
Yeah, for sure. So what I'd recommend is either first going to the near docs within the AI section, or going to the Aurora Marketplace, and you'll be able to find the docs from there. If you go to the getting started component and deploying an agent, you'll see that there's a template tab here. it won't show the template because I'm not sharing that correct screen. But anyway, we have a template in here that you can just clone. And this shows you how to get started with a shade agent really easily. And inside of this agent, it's set up for Sepolia, like Ethereum Sepolia. But by just changing the RPC or the chain ID, you can really easily migrate to Aurora or to a virtual chain. So once you've spun up your virtual chain and you're building something there, just plug in shade agents into there. And if you're stuck at any point, you can just come down to any section in the docs and either book in office hours or join with one of our developer support groups, and we'll be happy to help you keep building.
Very good. So I guess it will be easy to find even when you search the internet. There's like a template with the code that everyone or someone can start with, and then there are those sessions and groups where people can contribute to.
Yeah, our SEO is actually like amazing in the docs. If you just search up shade agents, it'll be the first thing you'll see, the docs.
Nice. And maybe could you share like an example of a project that already uses the shade agents?
Yeah, so let me figure out my screen sharing. Let me go over to the Mindshare agent here. So actually, I can show something I've been working on today, which is kind of cool. Let me just spin it up on localhost. Yeah, this is some alpha right here. It'll take me just a minute to get set up.
Okay.
But essentially, it's like an AI powered DAO that is using shade agents, which is really cool, and it's like verifiable through the whole stack. So I'll need to share my new tab here. Cool. Share screen. Can you pull this one up? There we go.
Yeah.
So this is a AI powered DAO, and essentially it's a smart contract that lives on there. But this smart contract could equally live on Aurora or Aurora virtual chain or whichever chain. And it's basically a DAO that has a manifesto. So this DAO's manifesto is set by you or set by the DAO or whoever is controlling this system, or it could be decided by the community. And the DAO's manifesto is set to you only approve proposals you think will be beneficial to the NEAR protocol. And here you can submit a proposal to the DAO. And you can see the list of previous proposals here. So one that got approved was saying, I want a grant for 10K to bring some transaction volume to NEAR. This one, you put your left arm in, you put your left arm out, in, out, shake it all about. This proposal got rejected. And then there's another one down here that got approved. But we can make a proposal now. This is obviously all like fake. It's not an actual DAO. But I want to how can we make this about virtual chains? I want to get sponsorship to create a virtual chain that will bring loads of TVL to NEAR. Let's make it happen. And let's see what the DAO says. This is a live demo, and it's yeah, it was literally created like today, so we'll see if it actually works.
Exciting.
Live demos are always a little bit sketchy, but this is calling the contract, which is then calling the agent to, which then calls an LLM to decide on this proposal and submit back to us the result.
Let's see what Oracle says.
Let's see. I can't even remember if it's still running. It's taking a while to respond. Well, yeah, looks like it might not be working. I think the service is down anyway.
Okay.
A demo for that will be coming soon. But yeah, you can see that it was working in the past, and the powerful thing about this is with like smart contracts before, you couldn't run AI or APIs or anything in there, but now you can build these actual smart agentic protocols that have AI, they have like a brain, and they're actually actively doing something, not just a smart contract that sits there and waits to be executed upon.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting what people can come up with the shade agents. Cool. Maybe with this, let's jump into the QA session. There is a few questions that I can see in the chat. Let me start with the first one. Question for Owen: what's upcoming features or products can users expect from Proximity in the next 6 to 12 months?
So from like proximity side, a lot of what we're doing is building out the tooling and the tech stack for shade agents. I think it was first announced around February time, and we've been shipping more and more tooling since then. So I think the main thing you can expect as like a developer is seeing like more resources, more examples, like this DAO example, and just yeah, better tooling to make your experience better when building, and making it easier to build bigger protocols. And another thing we're doing at Proximity is like helping partners with like go to market and developer support so they can ship actual products. So you can expect to see some projects coming out built on shade agents, which will be really cool. And a lot of products that weren't really possible before, or at least possible in a decentralized nature.
Awesome, good stuff. The next question: any upcoming collaborations between Proximity and Aurora we should be excited about? Well, shade agents, right?
Well, I think with Proximity and Aurora, we're always working like pretty closely together. Like I met you in Berlin, we were doing a hackathon together. And yeah, Aurora and Proximity have worked on a few hackathons together. So we're quite excited to see people build like shade agents and virtual chains together. So if you're interested in having like an AI powered virtual chain, yeah, excited to help you out with that. So I think it's I don't know of any like singular collaboration points, but it's like we're always collaborating together.
Exactly to the point. The next one: Proximity talks about agentic protocols as the next wave. Could you share a forward-looking vision? What might be the first $1 million agent-driven protocol on Aurora actually look like?
Yeah, so this like agentic vision, it's all about trying to have these protocols, like I say, that are actually smart and proactive. And I think a lot of protocols we're starting to see are DeFi ones, so agents that are like earning yield and trading on behalf of users, because they don't just trade for a single user. It really is quite scalable where the agent act on behalf of multiple users. So I think
Mm.
this framework of like vaults and yield is going to be quite prevalent within shade agents. But yeah, happy to hear what your $1 billion ideas are. I think if I knew a $1 billion idea, I'd quit my job and work it on it myself.
Yeah, me as well. Looking forward for first $1 million ideas. Very bold. On to the next one. What is the most amazing feature of Shard Agent that is fascinating?
So I guess it's up to you. Like I think the basis of it all is that these are truly decentralized agents. So I think that is the most amazing feature. It's not really quite shocking because a lot of people don't really understand it, but this technology was not really that possible before. I think there's a few teams working on it, but I think we really hit the nail on the head here with our decentralized key management component. So I think like the decentralization and the key management part of it is really exciting. Um, I'm a pretty big like privacy advocate, so as well, I think like the side feature of privacy is really cool, and excited to see some privacy preserving products built on shade agents.
Yeah, personally, what I like about it is that we kind of like have blockchain off-chain, right? Because
Mm.
there is this part of immutability without the blockchain. And with shade agents, there's actually blockchain on top of that. So it's pretty interesting and useful. Another one, is there any medium or social to keep up with proximity updates?
Yeah, so I think the best places to stay updated is Twitter. If you just search up proximity or proximity fi, like proximity fi, you'll find our Twitter. Um, Another great place to like get involved is within these developer Telegram groups. If you're a developer, so just head to the near docs and you'll find it from there under the Shade Agent section. And yeah, we're a core part of Near, so we're always pushing out content through Near as well. So if you're following the main Near handle on Twitter, you'll always see some of our content and what we're putting out as well.
Yes, I'm sure we'll hear more about the shade agents more and more. The next one, how does proximity plan to bring the users to the ecosystem?
Yeah, I think um, bringing like users, this is mainly done through products. So building this core technology and tooling which developers can build upon. And then those devs and those founders and companies that are using our tech can then acquire users. And yeah, it's not necessarily just like bringing users to Near or to any chain in specifically, but this infrastructure is sort of for all, I suppose. But yeah, the nice aspect of building on Near or building on Aurora um, with shade agents, it's a bit more tightly coupled, so you have a bit of a better experience. And yeah, just like human resources as well. Like we're happy to help you build on Aurora more than any other chain, and so uh, yeah, I guess bringing users through products would be my answer.
Yeah, sounds good. And we're happy to accept new founders at Aurora, by the way. To the next question, what inspired the creation of shade agents and how do they differ from the traditional AI agents or centralized automation tools in the Web3 space?
Yeah, so about like its creation, I was hired after that, so I'm not too sure on the details, but um, a core part of it was chain signatures and having like basically chain signatures allows you to broadcast transactions from a near account to any other chain. And I think it went quite naturally from that, like, oh wait, this is a great key management tool that could be used by agents, and having trusted execution environments verify within near contracts, which then can then be multi-chain with chain signatures. And them differing from like current AI agents. So sort of how I talked about it at the start is that a lot of agents in the Web3 space are very like front-end agents as such. They just take actions for like a single user because they can't be decentralized and serve multiple users without trust. So I think with shade agents, you can sort of think of them as back-end agents that power systems and power protocols rather than just helping like individual users on the front end. And then like there were these AI agent tools, like AI in the back end before, but I think most of them were probably centralized.
Very good. Okay, this was the last question. I'm not seeing any more. Do you have like any last words to the chain founders?
I think a bit of repetition here, just build on shade agents, build on virtual chains, and we're happy to see you do that, and we're happy to help out. I think it'll be really interesting to see some virtual chains where a core component of it is AI through shade agents.
Very good. As we are about to close this session, I would like to thank you, Owen, for this walkthrough of the shade agents, and thank you everyone who is watching this. I'm super excited to see what people are going to build with shade agents on their virtual chains. And let's launch the next 1000 chains together. Thanks.
It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.